Hey, here's your daily reminder. Go to the OutKick YouTube page. Like, comment. I look like a thumb, blah, 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 blah. And most importantly, subscribe. Yeah, here's the deal. You got Riley. You got Dakich. You got, what do we got? I got to look it up here. You got Hot Mike. You got Ricky Cobb. You got Clay Travis. You got Tyrus. We got a bunch right here. It is the fastest growing, most important media place in America. So go right now. Go to youtube.com and find OutKick. Subscribe. We're almost at 2 million. Let's get to 2 million by the end of the week. All right, lots to talk about today. The NCAA tournament is hot, and my Hoosiers suck. I can't even believe I'm wearing red. Some kid that plays at Indiana named Luke Goody made fun of me saying I only averaged 2 points a game. He played 33 minutes, and he scored 1. And I don't know how many he gave up, but let's put it this way. Oregon assistant coach told me every time he was in the game, we went at him, and they did and scored a ton. But that's not what I'm here to talk to off the top of the show. I'm talking lawsuit. Do you remember back a little bit ago, Mark Gastineau, former NFL all-time sack leader, he of the cheesy mustache, high hair, and, kind of the 80s, 90s answer to Broadway Joe in New York? Well, he was all pissed off because, Brett Favre and him got in a little hassle, and ESPN, he is saying, edited it, set it up, so he's suing the worldwide leader. The woke gas bags over at ESPN are in some hot water. The network is being sued, as I just said, by the New York Sack Exchange legend of the Jets, Mark Gastineau, for recording his awkward confrontation with Brett Favre last year, claiming they cut the duo's handshake out of the clip. Gastineau believed the clip did irreparable harm to his reputation. He's seeking $25 million in damages. Let me tell you what's going to happen to Mark Gastineau's suit. It's going to get thrown out before it even starts. It is. I mean, okay, Twitter got mad at you, but you got to show actual damages. So let's read into the lawsuit. Tossed. Just remember I said that. Adios, muchachos. Last December, ESPN released a clip from the New York Sack Exchange which depicted Gastineau's grudge against Favre over deliberately taking a sack to give Michael Strahan the single-season NFL record, a record that was previously held by, you guessed it, Mark Gastineau. All right, let's break that down. So Favre was kind of rolling out. He fell down. Strahan got the sack. I don't know if Strahan would have ultimately got a sack. You got to believe he would have. But Gastineau, being Gastineau and being a big ego former player, we get it. He's mad about that because he wanted his record to hold, or at least that's what the clip looked like between him and Favre. Per the lawsuit, Gastineau alleges, listen to this now, ESPN intentionally and maliciously, did not publish his handshake with Favre from the encounter. Without the handshake, Gastineau believes the encounter appeared more aggressive than it actually was, leading to him being attacked on social media. I get attacked every day. I get called a piece every day. Am I missing out on monies? Am I missing out on sewage? Am I missing out on saying, when I worked at ESPN and I said Marvin Bagley Jr. sucked, I got attacked. Duke fans of all things. What are they going to do? Have a pillow fight? But anyway, Duke fans came at me, and I could go an entire Breslin Center chanted, "We hate Dakich." That's hate speech. I should be suing. I wonder if the statute of limitations is off of that. Earlier this year, Favre alleged, listen to this, the whole scene was a setup, believing he was ambushed by Gastineau, ESPN, and NFL Films because they were ready for cameras. Gastineau, however, listen to this, claims he never gave ES permission to record the confrontation. All right. This is going to be thrown out faster than I lost hair in my 20s. Put it that way. What now? You're mad because ESPN showed a handshake or didn't show a handshake or might have shown a handshake before you and another ridiculous ex-football player got in a confrontation, and you want $35 million for that? What'd you lose? That's the question. What'd you lose? All right, let's listen to a little bit of it.
I thought we met a long time ago. At least I saw you.
Right.
How you doing?
When you fell down for him. I'm going to get my sack back. I'm going to get my sack back, dude.
You probably would hurt me.
Well, I don't care. You hurt me. You hurt me. You hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
You really hurt me. You hurt me, Brett.
We got to get back to this, Brett. I'm sorry.
What the fuck? I hate to say it that way. You hurt me. I'm a big, fat, meathead, 60-something-year-old man, and you hurt me. I got to tell you, I'm 62, fat, bald, the whole deal. There is never going to be video of me doing that. Now, I shouldn't say never. You hurt me, Brett. You took a sack back in the 90s, Brett. You hurt me. You hear me? You hurt me. I used to be important. I was on the cover of magazines. You hurt me, Brett. How about you just shut the living hell up? Serious business. Honest to God, these former players, former NFL players, if they're not getting arrested, if we're not having to hear some sob story, we got this. Some old freaking guy. And I like the old guys. You know, there was a time when Mark Gastineau was all the rage. He was always cheesy with the mustache and the hair and the stupid dance. But I got to tell you, there was a time people paid attention to him. Now he's suing. Let me say this again. Let me give this to you again. Because of that, right there, he thinks ESPN, because they filmed it, because they took out a handshake, should pay him $25 million because as someone in their 60s, maybe even their 70s, hell, I don't know how old this clown is, he got crap on social media. That's worth $25 million. Now, look, ESPN should be sued just for general principles. They should be sued for outright stupidity. But I got to tell you, that? Oh, hell no. Oh, hell no. I ain't giving you $25 million. I tell you what, you'll get $25 million out of between my butt cheeks when I fart it out before I give you $25 million in a court of law. And I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. Judge going to look at this and go, Mark Gastineau, wait, what? Are you? Adios. Lawsuit's over. ESPN, you're fine. True, that's what's going to happen. I mean, as they say, stop it, stupid. Stop it, stupid. And Mark Gastineau, you're being stupid. Oh, man, Jeff Goodman is kind of a fringe guy in college basketball. He is a writer that I helped get a job at ESPN. And then he was at ESPN. He was so bad at his job that ESPN had to get rid of him. They had to. There was no way you could keep that kind of stupid on. In fact, Goodman was made fun of by all of his peers by being the guy sent to trail LeVar Ball and the Barr clan out to Japan or China, and it was over for him. People didn't like working with him. I worked with him. I was fine with him, but he was so bad on a broadcast, I had to make fun of him on a broadcast, and he forever has held a grudge against me for it. But, hey, what are you going to do? Even our bosses were laughing like, hey, Dan, just lighten up. But he was so bad. Now he started something about basketball, and good for him. I've never really said anything to Goodman. In fact, after I made fun of him, I invited him. I apologized. I went and invited him to go to Thanksgiving dinner with us when we were in a Nike store. But Jeff has always come at me. We kind of sort of made up. I like his daughter. His daughter's working hard. She goes to Indiana. I always support anybody that goes to IU in the media school. But Jeff, really, he's one of those guys that could never play, could never coach, could never really get on TV, always on the fringe, but has a bit of a name because he's worked at good places and been fired from all of them, allegedly. Not even sure if he's been fired for them, but he certainly moved around. And when he came to me to try to get to ESPN, I happily obliged. But now Jeff's mad at everybody. He's got a little thing, I don't know what it's called, but he comes at me, he comes at Seth Greenberg. What are you going to do? He probably blames Seth. But the Insufferable one, he's taking a little heat on Twitter. Maybe he should sue. He was complaining about media seating at the Big Ten tournament. And he was complaining in typical Jeff Goodman style. kind of a passive-aggressive, kind of a, this is why media shouldn't bother going to the Big 12 tournament. Much more beneficial to just watch on TV. Okay, dude. Okay. All right. I don't know what to tell you. My reaction is no one would miss you. We'll get to that in a second. But see, nowadays, with prices of tickets being, I don't know, hundreds of dollars to watch guys sashay through playing, we don't have a whole lot of empathy for media members that get free parking, get free food, get into press boxes. They don't have to deal with traffic and get free seats. I don't think we have much empathy for that. Maybe there was a time we did. I don't know when that time was. And then these folk, the media folk, have so little respect for themselves. Next time you're at a media game, a game with media, look at Media Row and look at the slobs. Look at the pigs. Look at the people that don't respect their own work. Just look over there and look at the dregs. That's what's so great about OutKick. We're all studs. Ricky's a stud in his own way. But look at him. The pizza stained, the little cretins, the little disgusting little fellas that walk around, hey, what's going on? I need to get a scoop. And Goodman is no different. I hesitate to make fun of Goodman because I don't know if he has Bell's palsy. I don't know what he has. But he's easy to make fun of, particularly when he has such a mouth coming at people. Anyway, we have none. Clark Williams, Big 12 executive, clamped back at Goodman. Here are the seats where beat writers who cover the team throughout the season sit. Pretty good seats. What did I tell you? Look at this jackass in the yellow hat. Just a fat slob wearing a hat inside as an adult. Now, I've done it before, but not as a media member. As a media member, when I get a media seat, I'm not sitting there like some fat douchebag slob wearing a hat on the front row. I'm telling you, they all suck. They're all pigs, they're all old, they're all grumpy, and the young ones are worse because the young ones are all entitled, and the young ones will claim racism or anything else the second something goes bad. All right, here's Goodman. Like at most basketball arenas, media seating near the court is limited. Given the large number of games and limited time between them, the Big 12 is prioritizing available seating for beat writers and others who follow their teams closely throughout the season. Well, I'm sad that anybody even has to react from an official standpoint. Of course they do. Of course they are. Jeff Goodman is a blogger boy. He works for some nondescript thing that he and some Division III guy that can't wipe his own ass, Rob Doster, started, and I hope it goes well for him. But they're meaningless in the whole scope of college basketball. Who cares? Here's another reaction. Wait a second. Hang on, caller. Whoa. All right. I didn't know the first job of the media was to have the best seats. I thought it was to interview players and coaches. Maybe you become too spoiled and entitled and forget that it's a job, not a vacation. Honest to God, I said this before and I'll say it again. I never understood at Indiana, even when I was playing, why the media sat mid-court. They finally moved those dumbasses, and we have the worst media here in Indiana. I mean, we've got the dumb. They moved them way up top. The good seats are for the fans. Press box is always just a cattle pen with lukewarm hot dogs. You're getting free admission. You want better seats? Pay for them like everyone else. See, Goodman likes this because he's incredibly nondescript. It's a thrill for me, or for him, to have me talk about it. It is. I generally block him, but we kind of made amends. What are you going to do? One day this sport will be covered nationally by people who like it. That's true. I mean, everybody that covers this sport bitches, whines, and moans about it. I've told you, this is a great, and every night, been a great year, and every night, college basketball delivers. It did yesterday, and today's even better. Here's my response to you. No one would miss you. Not a soul. Now, little Jeffy tweeted back, that's just mean, Danny boy, laughing. I said, well, it's true, little Jeffy. Jeff Goodman is a putz. Jeff Goodman is a coward. Jeff Goodman is a punk. But I kind of like him. What are you going to do? I always felt sorry for him. True story. I don't know what's up with his face, and he was so bad at his job that I just always felt sorry for him. So when he comes at me, I just kind of have always been like, yeah, well, I mean, some dork. And I like his daughter. I think his daughter Talia does good stuff. So he got that going for him. What are you going to do? Speaking of the media, golf is no different. I mean, golf media sucks as bad as any, except for the Golf Channel. I would argue that the shows on the Golf Channel are the best sports talk radio of anything not named OutKick, Dakich, Ricky, Clay, Hot Mike, ever. I listen on my way into my show to the Golf Channel. Something in the sleaze inside the rope. There's just dudes talking like dudes. I'm digging on it. But the little wonks that cover the PGA Tour, the little fellas are pissed at another little fella. PGA golfer Colin Morikawa for what, you may ask? Well, let me enlighten you. Morikawa had the audacity to not sit in front of these dumb shits after a post-round media session. He skipped the post-round media session, and when asked why he did the following day, he gave an answer that has the crumb-stained journalist up in arms. I don't owe you anything. I don't owe anyone anything. That's right. Nothing. He's right. The worst thing, you would sit there, every coach does this, and every coach tries to fake it. After a basketball game, you sit on this dais, and you got to talk to these guys. And you look out there, and I did anyway, and you're just amazed at the unathletic, never played a game, writing it down like you've got to answer to them. Why did you foul? Why didn't you foul? Why didn't you get back on defense? Why did this happen? How about that? And I'm like, yo, can you believe I got to explain myself to these idiots? And that's what Morikawa is saying. I don't have to explain nothing to you. I don't owe you nothing. Nothing piss off the little pizza-stained media guys more than being cut off from their access. Here's Morikawa.
I want to understand a little better what you were feeling, why you didn't stop to talk or anything.
Yeah, just heated, just pissed, you know? Like, I don't owe anyone anything, no offense to you guys, but for me, in the moment of that time, I didn't want to be around anyone. Like, I didn't want to talk to anyone. I didn't need any sorries. I didn't need any good playings. Like, you're just pissed, right? And honestly, if it was an hour later, I would have talked to you guys, but an hour later, I was on my way out to here because I didn't want to be in Orlando anymore. I just felt like I put everything I did into the, let's call it 7 hours of my time being there, right? A few hours before showing up, physio, workout, my entire routine, right? I was just drained. And I get it. Like, you guys are there to figure out how we played and how things went. But in my perspective, like, I just didn't want to talk to anyone. And I think that's fair to myself, you know?
There you go. I do too. I don't want to talk to you idiots. Find me. I mean, what good? Just do this. I get it. Somebody writes an article and says you're a good guy. Or somebody writes an article and says you're a bad guy. Okay, I get it. But what good does that really do? More sponsorships now. No, go win tournaments. I mean, I get it. People want the big money. But, man, a guy like Morikawa is making about $250,000 a week. I mean, seriously, that's probably averages more than a week. I didn't say a month. I said a week. Go out, play 40 events, play 20 of them. I don't know, make $250,000 a week. That ain't bad. He doesn't need any of that. He doesn't. None of these guys do. I mean, I don't understand why you've got to. I'll never understand why you've got to sit there and talk to these clowns like mandatory. Screw them. All right, shout out West Virginia, Mountain Mama, take me home. I'm one of the legends of West Virginia for leaving. They still talk about when I left in 2002. Seriously, I catch a lot of shit. I'm sorry, West Virginia. You got Beeline. That worked out okay. Huggins, he did what Huggins is going to do. But I left in 2002, and that cost you 2 national championships. I wasn't there to jackass around. And of Huggins, Beeline, and me, I'm the only one with a national championship ring, so I'm the only one that knows how to do it, what it feels like. So West Virginia has come at me, and I've playfully gone back at them, and their writers and everybody else gets all mad. Good for them. But West Virginia, I love you. Rich Rod's my boy. Rich Rod, we had one night together. It sounds salacious, doesn't it? We were at the AD's house. Rich Rod, a little bit hammered. We get in the car. Rich Rod's driving around Morgantown, telling me all about it, me and my brother, and he was hilarious. He was funny. Then we sat in the park, like, all right, how much do these idiots cheat? What's going on here? And Rich Rod was awesome. Follows me on Twitter. I'm following him now on Twitter. Rich Rod did something I've been bitching, whining, and moaning about with Indiana basketball forever. We'll get to that. Next, West Virginia. Here's what Rich Rod did. Rich Rod banned TikTok. I always get him confused. From his locker room. We spoke on this yesterday. I love West Virginia. Rich Rod, you're my man. I'm rooting like crazy for West Virginia football. Basketball, I don't care. Maybe Indiana steals their coach. I don't know, and I don't care. But long story short, Rich Rod, you the man. You know who else is the man? Listen to this. The governor of West Virginia. The governor, Patrick Morrissey, wait for it, hosted Riley Gaines Wednesday as he signed the Riley Gaines Act into law, codifying definitions, oh, this is so odd, of men and women. Think about this. 2025. This is the, quote, progress we've made in the United States. Change, hope and change, progress. We've got to sign a bill in West Virginia giving definitions of a man and a woman and putting it into law. Now I want you to think about that just for a second. The measure reaffirms long-standing meanings of sex, male and female. It's got to go into state law, preserves women's restrooms because dudes want to go in women's restrooms. Sleeping quarters because dudes want to act like women and sleep in dorms with women's locker rooms and other private facilities for the sole use of women. To prevent abuse, harassment, sexual assault, and violence committed by men. That's all you need to say. You don't even need to say men dressing up as women, just by men. You got a dick, you're a man. Here's Governor Morrissey's tweet. I love West Virginia. Today I signed the Riley Gaines Act into law. West Virginia will not bow down to racial gender ideology. We are going to lead with common sense. That's why I love West Virginia. I wanted to be the coach at Marshall, except I turned it down. And with Riley Gaines Act, and the Riley Gaines Act does exactly that. Thank you to Riley Gaines, the IWF, International Women's Forum, I believe, or Foundation, and many women and girls around the country standing up for what is right. Get your dick out of a women's locker room. The Riley Gaines Act defines sex-based terms like women in a state statute. No more unelected bureaucrats reinterpreting these words to mean what they want them to mean. Boy, is that true. Boy, is that true. Somebody unelected, men and women are men. No, you got a PP, you're a dude. You don't, you're a chick. And if you get it cut off, yeah, you still got it. Anyway. Josh Allen. I'm digging on Josh Allen right now, the quarterback. I am. I'm digging on Josh Allen. Listen to this. Dude signed a mega extension, right? He actually left some money on the table. We all talked about the massive extension, and he had 4 years left on his contract, but the Bills want to immortalize him. And okay, all right. So he left money on the table to Patrick Mahomes, Tom Brady at both, because he wanted others to get paid so they can build a better team. He lightened the burden on the salary cap. I love this. And then when asked why he did it, this is a hell of an answer. My guys are calling it an MVP answer. Let's listen.
It didn't seem like, to my perspective, I was taking a whole lot less. But when the way that I make sense of it, when you start getting these fairly big numbers throughout the entire league, it's weird to say this, but what's five more going to do for my life that I can't already do right now, right? So like it's not that crazy to me, right? Like I live a pretty good life. Got a house, got a car, we're good. But I wasn't looking to to absolutely kill them at every chance that I could. And I told my agent that I was like, hey, if this has any impact on the pack, or impact on the cap, I should say, let's figure out a way to not do that. So again, both sides were willing to move and change different things, and it was a pretty calm mannered negotiation, is what I can say, at least what I can hear on both sides. So it was good.
I mean, that's how you want things to be run. I said this before. You got an owner, you got a GM, you got a coach, you got a quarterback, right in a straight line. Man, that's pretty good. And to hear the negotiations were, quote, calm-mannered, hey, even better. Nothing contentious, nobody getting mad at the other. Just, we need a deal, let's get it done. I'm going to be a good dude, you be a good dude. He ain't out looking for that bag, yo. I got to get my – No, that's not what he did. It's a 6-year, $330 million extension. Man, he's right. You know, when people say, how much money do you need? He said he doesn't need any more than that. $250 million guaranteed. Puts him second among quarterbacks with a $55 million per year average. Tied with Joe Burrow, Jordan Love, and Trevor Lawrence. Really? Joe Burrow, good. Jordan Love, Trevor Lawrence? Man. Somebody, anybody, hire Trevor Lawrence's agent, make him yours. He sits behind Prescott. $60 million annual average. An 8-year-old me would have obviously been just as pumped as a 28-year-old me. I think it's the only thing I've ever wanted to do in my life is to play football. Now I get to continue to do it. That's the main thing. Going out there and playing the best football that I can. In no way does this mean I need to stop working or stop getting better. It almost promotes more of that for me. Well, we'll see. A lot of guys sit back and relax and enjoy the show when they get millions. And that is millions. That's a lot of millions. I got to continue to get better and find ways to help this team get over the Mike Woodson hump and win a Super Bowl. He didn't say Mike Woodson. When you kind of look back at it, the only thing missing is finishing our season with a win. That's true. Maybe even with a loss, but at least in the Super Bowl. It's really the only thing I'm thinking about. Just trying to continue to get better and find a way to bring a Lombardi trophy to Western New York. They're close, but there's that guy, man. There's that guy. He's sitting right there with his high squeaky voice and his backwards passes. Patrick Mahomes. You got to beat him. Got to beat Mahomie. I like Patrick Mahomes a lot. He's one of my favorites, and now I like this guy a lot. Yeah, I got to tell you, Chris Collins doesn't like the Big Ten a lot. Ooh, man, it's safe to say Northwestern coach Chris Collins, he's kind of pissed at the Big Ten after his team's hotel was without working AC, leaving the players and coaching staff to rub ice all over their bodies throughout the night ahead of their game with Minnesota in an effort to stay cool. Here's the old Northwestern whine, though, which is disappointing. We're used to being treated like that by this league. See, the next question is, give me some examples. I mean, if you're going to make that statement, give me some examples. You know what I mean? Our guys are just a tough group of guys. They've had a lot thrown at them. Even last night, they put us in a hotel. The rooms were 1,000 degrees, no AC in the hotel, and our guys' rooms were 85 degrees, and that's where the league puts you. Either way they turn, they're trying to get us. Ooh, man, they're trying to get Northwestern? Why? I mean, why? I don't know. I mean, back in the day when Northwestern sucked, yeah, they might have been trying to get Northwestern, but Chris Collins has elevated Northwestern. And our guys are just a resilient bunch. Listen to this one. We're used to being treated that way by this league. Well, brother, I don't know what to tell you. You know, there used to be a thing where, hey, how about you just go and win? I mean, how about you go out and you win and, you know, you'll be treated better, but they have. And I agree with Chris. Like, look, they lost yesterday 70-63. They're 17-16, but Northwestern isn't nearly what Northwestern used to be. Northwestern used to be automatic. You go there, you're going to win. You go there, you're going to get it done. But having said that, they're not that. And Chris has done an amazing job. Now, he's done an amazing job. And, hey, look, I don't blame Chris. I don't blame Chris for bitching, whining, moaning about this even a little bit. I mean, not even a little bit. You got to. You have to. Now, here's the interesting part. Nobody's really said what hotel they were in. Nobody said, well, it was this hotel or that hotel. I looked for it this morning. I'm not the best at finding things on the internet, but I'm not the worst. And I did try to watch, and I don't know. I couldn't find it. College basketball last night. I said this on the show, and I feel bad about this. I'm not going to say it here. Maction, Bowling Green. Bowling Green hired a coach, and he had a good year last year. And man, oh man, was he trying to get his ass out of Bowling Green. Todd Simon is the coach. He came from somewhere, I don't know. They had a nice year. They won 20 games. This year, they've had their ass kicked. Now, they're a little bit hamstrung because they're only paying two or three players, and that's a problem in the locker room. Anyway, Akron should be in the NCAA tournament if they lose the MAC championship game. They got 26 wins. I don't give a damn what league you're in. They got 26 wins. I'd rather see them than my school, Indiana. My school sucks. But anyway, Akron went and beat Bowling Green by 30. Bowling Green season's done. Maybe the coach will try to get out of there again. St. John's Butler. Butler got a lot of work to do. Thad Munn is up in the rafters at Ohio State. He is. Had a couple good years, went to the Final Four. They put him in the rafters. He retired, became a guru for Mike Woodson. He realized, I want to get back into coaching. He's at Butler. They've had their ass kicked a little bit. And St. John's is obviously the story of the Big East. St. John's went ahead and won the Big East. They got the Garden jumping. Everybody's excited as we head into the NCAA tournament. St. John's whopped all over Butler. But don't sleep on Butler. Word on the street, he's got some guys coming. We'll see what happens. Arkansas and Ole Miss. Man, Ole Miss charging back. Ole Miss came charging back, 83-80. It was a good game, too. I think that was the score. Anyway, for most of the game, Arkansas looked like they were going to get it done, but Chris Beard's guys made shots. And you know what happens? Don't do shots, make shots. Don't do shots, make shots. I can't believe these guys don't have Indiana on here. Well, who is running this ship anyway? Xavier Marquette. Xavier actually moved up with a loss at Marquette. Marquette got a late bucket, which got us a late cover. That's all I cared about because I had Marquette -1.5. UNC against Wake. Everybody counts UNC out. I'm watching UNC going, wait a second. I think they've won 7 of 8. Only loss is to Duke. They get a beat-up Duke team today. I don't know, man. UNC looks like they're in the tournament. If they win today, they are in the tournament. Kent State over Western Michigan, don't care about either. Rob Senderoff, who famously cheated at Indiana and then was bailed out by some jackass AD at Kent State, is the coach at Kent State. And every time they win, I just laugh. I never met anybody who knew less about basketball than Rob Senderoff when he was an assistant coach. Now he's the all-time winningest coach at Kent State. Just recruit, baby. Indiana got its ass beat by Oregon. And when I say ass beat, they were down 8. And then Indiana came back, did Indiana things, and then like the soft-ass operation, they got their ass beat by 13. Kid named Luke Goody, who has a big mouth. He's been at Indiana like 10 minutes. He called me out for criticizing the team. Oh, some guy that averaged 2 points a game is talking. Well, he's two-time captain at Indiana. Started in the Elite 8. I don't know. That's not bad. Started in the Sweet 16. I don't know. Ain't bad. And I averaged 5, by the way. Luke Goody scored 1 point. And gave up, God, I don't even know how many. And I talked to one of the assistants at Oregon after, and he's like, dude, every time Goody was in the game, he played 33 minutes. We went right at him. Right at him. I don't know why he's in the game if he's not making shots, but we were sure glad he was. Talking against me, it don't work. Hey, by the way, today's a great day. Purdue and Michigan. Hey, I saw this yesterday. USC player. Oh, I guess they stayed at the Sheraton. I'll tell you this. You stay at the Sheraton downtown, the league is out to get you. The league is out to get you like nobody's business. The league is 1,000% out to get you. Out to get you. All right? All right. Who should be the next coach in Indiana? Steve Alford. That's simple. If not, we're going to get Brad Burnell, who's been in the tournament 4 out of 14 years at Clemson, doing a good job now, telling us how he's teammates with Calbert Cheaney. Here's what I want out of the new Indiana coach. What I would like is this. I want an individual, let's go back, an individual that I'm taking out the whole Bob Knight, Mike Davis, an individual that isn't a cheating, lying dirtbag like Calvin Sampson. Need someone like me, just a normal human being. I followed Sampson for a minute. We don't need some psychopath that makes everybody inside the athletic department crazy and tries to educate and trick Indiana fans with bullshit about deflections and other stupid stuff. I like Tom Crean. He did a great job. But enough of the talking. We don't need some little ratty-looking dude that has no personality like Archie Miller. And we don't need some guy that talks in the third person. We don't need third person Mike Woodson. What we need, and I told Scott Dolson this when he hired Woodson, I don't care who you hire. It doesn't matter to me. I'm not involved. But hire a human being. Hire a teacher. Hire someone we don't have to listen to about the greatness. Hire a dude that's in the community. Hire a dude that's will win. That's it. And we got all these psychopaths that have coached at Indiana. We got all these sociopaths. If you want Mike Woodson, you got to go get Mike Woodson. You want Mike Woodson? Mike Woodson isn't coming to you. Shut up. Just shut. I loved one time Archie Miller, who I was very critical of, and I were in a room. He had a chance. He tried to get like passive aggressive, and I basically patted his little head and said, "Get out of here." Sampson was a lying, disgusting cheat. And Crean was a sociopath who I liked. Just hire a regular dude. Is it that hard? He's going to hire Brad Burnell, and Burnell's going to tell us, well, I was teammates with Calbert Cheaney, and blah, blah, blah. I mean, I don't want to hear any of it. And that's fine if they want to. Just hire Steve Alford and let's go. That's it. Just hire Steve Alford and let's go. I mean, we've had 25 years of crap. 25 years of absolute crap. I called it in a text to the AD, dog shit. I said, I guess I'm not good enough to coach there. Fine. But 25 years of this dog shit, who's our next savior? Just let me know. Just let me know. Is he going to be an insufferable buffoon like Signetti who just wins, which is I'm cool with? Just get somebody in here, please. Just get somebody in here that's a human being that we can like and win some games. And get rid of every effing player, coach, manager, the whole thing. And rub some sage on the locker room. And put a rosary up. Clean that. If you got to do an exorcist. That's what I was doing back in 2008. I got rid of 2. I was going to get rid of 3 the next day. I wanted to get rid of them slowly so the media could talk about the jackassery of them and rip me. Get rid of all of these entitled punks and let's start it over.